Next up on the 2 and 5 podcast, we're making the Tall Cowboy Chili, and you're not going to want to miss it. Tune in on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Liz Rogers.
And I'm Jeff Duke. And today, we're going to make Tall Cowboy Chili. So, a little background on Tall Cowboy Chili is, there's a legend has it, there was a group of gnomes traveling outside of College Station many, many years ago. And a young group of cadets in engineering rescued the gnomes from an attack by the Chupacabra. And many years later, me and my friends in around 2001, 2002, received the information that the gnomes gave these cadets in the form of gratitude. They gave a chili recipe. It's a blend, a process. We were lucky enough to have it, and I made the chili for Liz, as y'all saw from the regulator, and she convinced me that we need to share this gift with the world. And so the origins of this are very mysterious, but it is 100% the best chili you'll ever eat. But there's a word of warning, and this the gnomes took very seriously, and this is a disclaimer. You can never, ever put beans in this chili. That is an absolute, you'll lose the magic. It will no longer be chili, and you would just need to serve it as bean soup if you want to keep the integrity of the dish. So we're going to prove that
that anyone can make the chili.
So I will be Chef Jeff, and I'll be assisting Liz Rogers.
I'm actually a really good chef. I'm a good cook. So
She is a very excellent.
Underhanded move. But Jeff introduced me to the chili. I had low expectations for the chili. The chili delivers every time. And the thing about when you make it with Jeff from scratch, there's like a million steps and a million different ingredients in it. But when you make it from the Tall Cowboy Chili kit, there's really just 3 steps to it. So we're going to get into it.
All right.
Sweet.
Let's go. The additional ingredients for the chili kit.
You want to go through it? What's the first step? You have to come closer.
What is step 1, Miss Rogers?
Step 1, you have to put the Crisco in the pan, and you have to brown your ground hamburger with Crisco. Folks, don't ask me why. It doesn't make sense. You're going to drain the whole thing.
This is part of...
But I don't ask questions.
This is part of the things that the gnomes know that we don't really. And they're things that you would never think of in the blend that just makes it so magical.
And the Tall Cowboy...
We recommend a good 80-20 ground meat mix. You don't, we're going to drain the grease out, but you can use whatever. You can substitute venison if you'd like. And
oh yeah, that was
I don't know that anybody's ever attempted it with Beyond Meat, but you're more than welcome. Those things are fine. Just remember, there's no beans in chili.
It's so much chili. I think it's really important that you have a favorite pot that you cook chili in. This is my favorite pot, and I have only burned the chili one time, and it's because Jeff told me I didn't babysit it. So you do have to babysit it a little bit. It will simmer for like 40 minutes in one of the steps, and that seems like a long time, and it seems like you should walk away from it, but history and experience have shown me that you shouldn't. So when you order the Tall Cowboy Chili kit, you get this super cute story about the chili on the front and then all of the steps on the back. There's really only 4 steps to making the chili. You just need a couple of extra ingredients, your ground meat, your chopped onion, some stewed tomatoes, tomato sauce, and a serrano pepper, chicken broth, beef broth. We kind of eyeball it usually, but this is a great guideline, and then you can kind of adjust it from there. But for your first time, I recommend following the recipe.
So 5 pounds is a lot of chili, but when you eat the chili, you'll realize that it goes a long way. You got your frito pie, which is a game changer with this chili, and quite frankly, one of the best chili dogs you'll ever enjoy. It stores and saves real well. You can freeze what you don't eat if you don't eat it all, which is rare. It usually gets eaten, trust me. Uh, but the chili is very versatile, and it quite honestly, it's always better the next day. You know, the spices get in there, and so really hope you enjoy the Tall Cowboy Chili.
The chili is obviously a winner with us and our family and a lot of our friends, but it's also a real winner too, right?
Yes, after a sequence of events happened, and we got the recipe that was given to those cadets that fateful day. We entered me and a bunch of our friends, the Beer Raising Hell Drinkers was the name of our team then. And lo and behold, we won Chili Fest with over 400 entries that year. So next year we go back. Willie's playing. We win again.
You won Willie's year.
And we won the year it flooded for all those Aggies back in the
You
day.
remember the year of the flood at Chili Fest.
But I've known that it's entered Chili Fest in different teams since, and I think it has 3 or 4 other crowns. It's won multiple other chili contests. We have plans to maybe take it to Talingua.
Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe y'all could follow the journey to
Yeah.
Talingua. But if you want to win your local chili contest, Tall Cowboy Chili.
That's right. So the Tall Cowboy has been known to be a little messy. And sometimes he's very tall and his big bear paws break things. So this summer when we moved into the College Station house, there were gnomes that were left behind, little statue gnomes. And the gnomes managed to break a lot of things the first few weeks that we moved in to the house. And so Jeff said, we've got to get rid of these gnomes because they just keep breaking things. And so I took them out to my parents' ranch and we dropped them off. But these gnomes are hectic. Do you have gnomes in your house? Do they break things?
They can travel 100 miles a second.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, once this is browned off, you are going to drain the grease off of it. And then you're going to get started putting your spice kits in. All right. So you're going to add 1/4 of an onion chopped. Do you want to open my cans for me? You're going to do a can of stewed tomatoes and a can of tomato sauce. You're going to add a can of beef broth and a can of chicken broth. I'm just doing half of our containers because we buy the big containers. We go through a lot of broth in this house. All right, stewed tomatoes going in. Thank you.
And the last piece of phase 1.
That's right. You're going to open it up. It's vacuum sealed. You're going to dump it in, get all that spicy goodness in there. Oh, there was one more thing, Jeff. Do you want to talk about how important this piece is?
The serrano pepper, you'll find it it's pretty much a staple across some chili recipes, but remember when you take them out, don't squeeze.
That's right. You're just going to let him sit in the hot tub of chili and you're not going to squeeze him. So once you have phase 1 done, step 1, and your spice pack put in, your serrano pepper, your stewed tomatoes, your tomato sauce, a little bit of Worcestershire, chicken broth, beef broth. You're going to add all that in. You're going to bring it to a boil, and then you're going to simmer it for 40 minutes covered. My dad used to tell me as a child, and even now, that a lack of preparation on your part does not necessitate an emergency on my part. Meaning, just because you forgot to plan effectively doesn't mean that I have to panic when you don't have your poop in a group. Right, Jeff? Duke?
What this has to do with chili is you have to prepare where you don't have an emergency like we have now.
Right.
We don't have Fritos.
No Fritos for Frito pie. So anyway, okay, we're on to step 2. We're moving on to step 2. We've got to take our little cute Serrano out of here. And remember, very important.
Don't squeeze.
Don't squeeze him. Don't squeeze him. He's just there to marinate. And then we're going to put in spice pack number 2.
Drum roll.
I wish I could tell you what's in it, but then we'd have to probably kill you. It's a proprietary recipe. So we've done all the work for you. We've measured out all the goodness. And in it
But
goes.
remember, if a bean touches the spice, it will lose its magic.
That's right. All right. So after you've simmered for 20 minutes, you're going to add spice pack number 3. Jeff Duke, you want to do the honors?
No.
No. Spice pack 3 is going in. All right. And how long is it going to cook for after this?
Simmer for 15 minutes.
So 15 minutes, you're going to let it simmer, and then it's going to be ready
And then
to
you
go.
can adjust the texture with broth or chili powder.
Yeah. Uncovered or covered?
Uncovered. Wait a second.
We really know what we're doing. Simmer for 15 more minutes. We're going to cover it anyway. Oh my gosh, it smells so good.
All right. Looks like phase 3 is done. Baby, do you want to test the chili?
Yep, I do. I think it's only good if you taste test it, right? Like you have to test your chili. Oh, it smells so good. All right. Are you ready? It's hot. Yeah? Did we nail it? So it's really so good every time. It's good every time. All right. So what are we
Perfect.
going to do with it?
How about a Frito pie?
Mm-hmm. Let's do a Frito pie. So my favorite use of the Tall Cowboy Chili is to make a Frito pie. You can also do a street Frito pie, which is where you open the bag. This is great for kids. You put the chili directly in the bag and then you top it with cheese and give them a plastic spoon and send the people on their way. But we're going to be fancy today. We're putting our Fritos in the bag. The only other brand that we endorse would be HEB's Fritos, which are pretty legit. So anyway, we're going to take this. We're going to top it with the Tall Cowboy Texas chili, and then a little bit of cheese. If you like jalapenos, I do. I slice them up and put them on top, but you can really top it with whatever you want, or you can be a purist and just go chili or chili and cheese. So let's go. All right. Okay, we're going to top it with a lot of cheese because it's only good if you have cheese. All right. And then I like to mix mine up a little bit. I like to get it all in its feels. Oh my gosh. It's so solid every time. The different steps, I'm going to act like I know what I'm talking about, but the different steps, the multi steps of the seasoning give it like a real depth of flavor that like most store-bought chili or like if you have a one-pack chili doesn't give you. This is legit. It's the way to go. So you can order the Tall Cowboy Chili Kit. You can order these awesome magnetic koozies right at 2and5.life. We would love for you to cook the chili, the Tall Cowboy Chili. Tag us and let us know how it goes. It's so good.